Papa, scientists are heard today in both Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. A rocket barrage just fired toward Israel as the war rages between Israel and Hamas.
The battle persists. The Jewish state is battling to seal its borders of Hamas fighters. They want them out of the country. And earlier this morning, Israeli Defense Forces were fighting Hamas in 7 or 8 places.
Fox's Alexandra Hoff reporting at least 700 Israelis are dead, including 4 Americans. About 500 people have been killed in Gaza, that small enclave, about 2.3 million Palestinians bordering Israel and Egypt. President Biden pledging his administration's support for Israel's security, calling it rock solid and unwavering. Oil up more than $2 a barrel this morning. And Senate Leader Chuck Schumer leads a bipartisan delegation to China, meeting with China's President Xi. America is listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
Well, a wonderful Monday morning it is. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And what a difference a weekend makes, right?
Yes, it does.
We were at peace for the most part on Friday.
Yes.
Saturday, the world is at war again.
Yes.
Chunks of the world anyway are at war. This attack on Israel has got a lot of people divided, of course. It's divided this country already and a lot of other places too. But that attack from inside the Gaza Strip by the terrorist group Hamas, we've got a big portion of the world is all up in arms. They don't know what to do next. I don't know about you, but I'm fearful of what Iran's going to do. This is an Iran-backed terrorist organization.
Yes, it is.
Hamas is Iran by any other name.
And Hamas has been pretty quiet for
Lately,
a while.
yeah.
You hadn't heard nothing out of them for a while. And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Thousands of rockets were launched that fell on Israel, military and civilian targets. The death toll continues to mount, floated by Hamas, show women, children, and elderly Israelis being kidnapped and taken back to Gaza. I cannot imagine. Young people attending several parties were seen tied up and then taken into the Gaza Strip. At least 4 Americans in Israel were killed in the attacks. As has been pointed out, these are the same terrorist tactics used by ISIS. And for those who are not aware, Hamas is a terrorist or arm of Iran, for sure, no doubt. State Department declared it in some years back. For those who do not remember, the Biden administration recently unfroze $6 billion in Iranian assets that the U.S. had seized after 9/11. Yep. Hamas has got all the money that they need right now. $6 billion that the president gave them. What do you do about that?
Well,
The administration's mouthpiece, the lovable Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, denied that there was any connection between the attacks and the release of the assets. Republican presidential candidate and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley called Blinken's comments irresponsible. Earlier, Blinken said the money was released and could only be used for medical supply. Get this, only could be used for medical supplies, food, and medicine. Duh. Who can think that's even possible to control? Iran has captured Americans left and right, and we can't stop them from that. We had to pay money to get some Americans released. Our freaking government can't stop illegals from coming into this country with killer drugs. It can't even stop telemarketing scammers. And we are told by the Secretary of State that Iran must only use those funds for medical supplies, medicine, and food? What sort of blithering idiots do you take us for?
we don't need to even answer that. Come on now.
If you believe it, I'm offering interest in the bridge leading to North Topsail Beach for a good price. You can buy interest in, and Israelis were murdered. Hamas terrorist organization The country did in a big way with its own rocket attack on the Gaza Strip.
Mhm.
Likely kidnapping women and children is the way the terrorists hoped would tamp down the Israeli retaliation. They apparently don't understand the Israelis.
They don't.
It should come as no surprise if Israel declares war on Iran, of which it did yesterday.
Yep.
And it should come as no surprise if Iran responds with nuclear weapons. That should come as no surprise. They got to worry about which way the wind will be blowing, though.
Mhm.
The idiots that they are.
Go
This is
ahead.
what idiots have been planning for quite some time. Our intelligence agencies know about it. They've known about it for years. And so far, 48 hours later, the U.S. has done pretty much nothing. And I'm not surprised. Without a commander in chief with brass, what would you expect?
Now, who said that?
Me.
Rayford Brown.
Rayford Brown said that.
We don't have a commander in chief with any brass.
Well, you know,
48 hours have gone by.
Hmm.
well, we've got naval warships on the way out there, but I
Yeah.
think before it's over with, we're going to be tying yellow ribbons around our trees again.
No doubt.
And this is going to be a long war.
Well, Senator Cory Booker was in Jerusalem
Yeah.
and had to hunker down in the.
Imagine.
And Schumer is in China, and he blasted the Chinese president for not saying something or doing something.
Oh, you know, China.
Whoopee.
What does he think China's going to do? China's probably
They're going to listen to him?
no, really.
Why?
China's another force you're going to have to reckon with too.
It's just, it's irresponsible of us to do nothing.
Yes, it is just. This is going to be a long, expensive war for us.
We're not even through with the other ones.
No, and we're all the money that we're pumping into Ukraine, and now we're going to be pumping it into Israel, and we're already how many trillions of dollars in debt? And
We've been
This is
pumping
gonna
money
hurt
into
so
Israel
much.
forever.
right, it's going to hurt so many people. But what do?
Schumer and 5 other U.S. senators are on a diplomatic mission, they say.
Well, I imagine you'll see some action in the House today. I imagine they'll all be called back in, and they'll go ahead and get this stupid election for a speaker over with, and
Yeah, well, they've got
start
to
getting
get
ready.
that done.
Yes, I mean, and if it came down to an emergency without a speaker, they work around. You know, they have a temporary speaker. So
Yes.
let's move on. You know, this is going to be crazy.
Listen to what Schumer said. We want the Chinese people to have economic opportunity.
What are we talking about? They have a lot of economic opportunity.
We want them to have economic opportunity. That would be good for America. In what way?
What?
Peddling their Chinese
How stupid
junk,
is this guy?
their junk
Well, when
into
have you,
this country at ridiculously low prices to keep American companies from even wanting to do business?
have you ever heard Chuck Schumer? We want us to have economic opportunity. Have you ever heard Biden
No.
say that? Have you ever heard any Democrat
No.
say that? Have they said it?
Not that I've heard.
While they're campaigning,
910-333-0139. 910-333-0139, the number to call if you want to chat this morning.